Welcome back to the Milwaukee Show, and today we're talking about game number 5 between the Florida Panthers and the Boston Bruins, where the Beantown boys come up with the win 2-1 away, and they make the series a little bit closer, making it 3-2. And is this the Bruins come back for real? Is this their punishment and revenge on the Florida Panthers after taking them down 3-1 last year, embarrassing them for all of the people like me and Urinating Tree and whoever to make all these videos about them choking whoever, right? Is this their revenge, right? Is it? I don't think so, but this was a very good game for them, and this is the game that the Boston Bruins need to play, right? We see instances of this, right? I believe it was in game 3 or 4. Was it 3? Yeah, game 3, where that first period was all Bruins, because they actually forechecked hard, they played physical, right? They were punishing the Panthers, they were standing their ground, winning puck battles, and making some big plays with their skilled guys to get those goals, right? We saw that again this game. The Bruins are winning those puck battles. They were playing more physical. They seemed like they had more aggression and urgency, especially in their step. Where other games, especially in Game 4, I just saw the Bruins and I was like, oh my god, they're just it looks like they're just coasting around and just not trying to win. And this game, though, this game was different. They went out there, they played like they meant it, and they won the game 2-1, winning it close where they needed their goaltender to stand up, their defense to stand up, and they did. So really, the Bruins, they won the puck battles. And one thing too is that they did more of today that I saw them not do as much earlier in the series is play behind the net, right? They played behind the net, they played below the dots, they were keeping the puck around the goaltender and making things scarier, right? Because the whole point of playing hockey, right, in, I think, probably most sports, but especially hockey, is you want your opponent to make mistakes, right? That is the whole point of the play of a dump and chase, is that you're throwing the puck down the ice for the defenseman to turn around and make the play, right? All you got to do is go after him and make him make a mistake. Pressure him, right? That's the whole point of pressure. Make a guy panic, close that distance, right? He's coming up the boards. You don't just keep skating backwards and just keep letting him skate, right? He's not going to mess up anything. But if you pressure him on the boards, he's the one that has to make the move. And whether the tiny puck misses his stick, he loses it or whatever, regardless, right? When you play below the dots like that, it is much, much more risky for the, not risky, but there's a lot more risk to the defensive team to actually make the saves, make the plays for the defense to whatever, right? To win that play. And when you play below the dots like that, you get closer, where if that mistake messes up, you are right there for the win, right? And unfortunately, really for the Bruins today, none of that truly came to fruition for them to get those tight and close to the net goals, but they were close, right? Many plays where the goaltender Bobrovsky lost the puck, came out in front of the net, rebounds, the puck just gets loose out in front, right? Sure, they didn't score on those, but those are the ones that keep the momentum going for your team. Keep the pressure up, where now it's up to the Panthers to start panicking and try to turn tide of everything, right? And the Panthers really didn't ever give up, right? It was a 1-0 game for most of it. Reinhart finally in the third period, I think it was the third period, gets that goal where he really just gives it all, is on the ground, shooting it up towards the net, hits off the post in the back of the net, and it's a good goal, right? I actually thought Tarasenko scored it at first, but Reinhart gets his 5th of the series, ties up the game. But not too long after that, Charlie McAvoy gets the goal. Now, this is where everyone is complaining. And personally, and if you've been watching my videos through this series, you might think that I'm a big Florida fan, right? I personally am cheering for the Florida Panthers, but that's because I used to live in Florida, and they're a team that I've always cheered for, and I like a lot of their players. But the Bruins are the first team that I ever actually played for. Well, for my development league, right? That was the first team. I've always liked the Bruins. I've always loved Pavel. What the hell am I talking about? Brad Marchand. And, yeah, I love the Boston Bruins, right? They're definitely in, my top, at least they're in the top 10 of my favorite teams, right? The Panthers are not my number 1 or anything like that, but they definitely are, a little bit higher up in the rankings. But for me personally, as I see it as an objective point of view of a fan of both of these teams, throughout this series, through the Bennett stuff and now this goal, for me, it is hilarious as a semi-Bruins fan and being a spectator of just the sport. For Bruins fans to have all this huff and puff about them being the victims of things is hilarious. Because it's not the Bruins' whole deal throughout, like, most of their history, at least the last, like, 10, 15 years, has been that they're, like, the mean, brooding team where they got Chara to kill people, they get Marchand, who's just the biggest rat in the world. Like, it's not like they've ever been the nice team. And it's just so funny to me where another team like the Panthers are here to kind of make some dirty plays, where they're the team like, oh, we're getting screwed, the refs owe us something. And I'm like, whoa. You're kind of nuts. And if you take everything, like one case after another, right? The Sam Bennett play. Does he hit Marchand in the head? Yes. Do I think it is but is Marchand also going for a weird late hit on Sam Bennett? Yes. Is Marchand also a guy who knows he's getting himself into trouble, especially against another guy who has a history with Sam Bennett? Yes, right? It's like he's purposefully going to a bad neighborhood, causing issues, and then he gets in trouble, and he thinks he's a victim, or the Bruins fans think he's a victim because of it. It's insane, right? It is nuts of him for Bruins fans to get all huffy and puffy about it, right? But then, the Sam Bennett goal, right? Charlie Coyle was already in the crease. In hockey, you have to stand your ground. In hockey, it's very easy to get moved out of your way. Sam Bennett does not go after him with a huge cross check. He moves him out of his way. The puck is already scrambling for the Bruins, right? It's already a bad play for the Bruins. The Florida Panthers get the puck to go through Coyle's leg, who was playing a bad game anyways. He puts in the back of the net. This game's goaltender interference call, to me, I think the referees absolutely did it based off what has happened in this series so far, because it was insane how this was a good goal call, right? And to me, I do not understand it. This was absolutely, in my opinion, no goal. And now that I think about it, I think I was wrong about how the score was. Didn't they score the goal before the Reinhardt scored? Anyways, yeah, whatever, that doesn't matter. I was an idiot if I said that, I apologize. But for that no goal, for the good goal call, is nuts to me. That call is literally, you watch the replay, right? It is, the player's stick literally trips Bobrovsky, whose leg is in the crease, and trips him up, right? And Bobrovsky, like, the whole, like, dropping the stick thing, he does that a lot, right? Even just regular plays. I think he drops it not to, like, sell that he gets tripped. But you know how easy it is for someone's leg to get tripped? That's my whole thing about Charlie Coyle, is that you need to stand your ground. But he got shoved from behind, right? This is a goaltender ready for a play. They're all squatting down. They're like, their skates are dug into the ice. If you push on your skate backwards like that, it is almost impossible to not get moved. And for a goaltender who's getting squared up for a shot, whose skate gets shoved, like, he's going down. And for the whole thing that he has time to reset is insane. He had it was trip, okay, shot, and it's in, right? Like, he had this, like, half a second, maybe, to have reset, which is insane to me. If you believe that, I totally disagree with you. And to me, it should have been a no goal. But it is what it is. The Bruins, they get the game winner. And to me, I'm not that upset about it, because I would be more upset if this really did cost the Panthers this game. But the Panthers were going to lose anyways. To my opinion, if it was called no goal, the Bruins are going to win this game anyways. They would have found the goal. They were the better team this game. They forechecked hard. They played good physically. They blocked a lot of shots. And they didn't give too much to the Panthers this game. This game was definitely the Bruins. They won all areas of the ice, in my opinion. Maybe not all areas, but they definitely, in overall game, played better. They would have won regardless. And to me, we're going back to Boston now. We're going back to Boston. Whoa, sorry. And we're going back to Beantown, where the Bruins need to play this game again. Because this game reminds me of Game 1. Because they actually had, like, the Panthers felt like they took a backseat this game, and it felt like the urgency for the Panthers wasn't there this game. And it really felt like the Bruins were like, okay, we literally have to win. And this is the first time I've seen any team in this playoffs where their lives are on the line, they show up to win, right? Maybe the Lightning, but then they just got stormed by the Florida Panthers, right? But for me, this was the first time where I saw a team that is actually going to do, that has to win, finally show up and go, we're not losing this game. And they showed up. And I love what I saw. I love what I see. And now going to Boston, where they're going to be wearing those black and gold jerseys, and Boston going to go crazy in the crowd wanting their team to tie up this series, is going to be nuts. And I think, truthfully, I think Boston will win next game. I don't think Florida is going to be able to shut them down. I do think Boston is going to find their game again. And this is the game that they need to play. And when the Florida Panthers even them out, it'll be tough. And I think the big issue is that they need Marchand back, which I hope he comes back, because I am a big Marchand fan. I don't want to see this series just get closed out because Marchand isn't there. But at the same time, the Bruins need to show up some more guys, right? Geeky has been huge for them. McAvoy getting his first goal in, I guess, 30 playoff games, which is crazy. But for me, just overall in this series, they just need some more guys to show up. Zacha, I would even say David Pastrnak has been way too quiet. He had a couple of really good plays today where he got that close to scoring, but just couldn't get the job done either. But yeah, to me, the Florida Panthers, like, they are right there still, right? They're right on the doorstep. We know how good they are. And I think next game they're going to tighten up the game, and I think next game might be the best. In my opinion, I predict would be the best game of the playoffs so far, with a fully functioning Bruins with Swayman and Bobrovsky in net being so good as he is, and the team of Florida coming back after a loss. I think they're going to get it done. And Paul Maurice being, I don't know, this series just feels like it's going to close out really strong. So that is all I got to say, really. So thank you for watching this, and if you made it this far, please, I am begging you, please subscribe. Just please do it. I'm really trying here, and please just do it. Anyways, thank you for watching this. Too sweet. I hope you have an incredible day, and ta-ta for now.